So, you've been in prison and now you're out on parole. But what happens next? Well, there are some conditions of your parole. Let's go through what they mean and what will happen if you don't follow them. But first, what is parole? Parole is a chance for you to serve the rest of your sentence out of jail and can help you get back into the community. If you follow your parole carefully, the chances of returning to prison go down. During your parole period, you must follow certain rules, known as terms and conditions. These are mandatory and not negotiable. They include the following. You must not break the law. You must report to the Community Corrections Centre within 2 clear workdays of when you get out of prison. You might already have an appointment with your parole officer arranged. You'll be supervised by a case manager and you must report to them and receive visits as and when directed. Before you move or change address, you need to let your parole officer know, at least 2 days before. If you would like to request permission to leave Victoria, discuss with your parole officer as soon as possible. They can provide you with more information about this. You must follow any direction given to you by a case manager, the regional manager, or the adult parole board to ensure you comply with the order. Everyone has individual conditions on their order. Not all of these will be relevant to you, but listen up for the ones that are. Assessments. Testing and treatment for things like drug, alcohol, mental health, and medical issues. Programs to help reduce your chances of reoffending. You may not be able to hang out with certain people or in certain environments, or not be allowed to drink alcohol. You may need to live in a certain place. You may have curfews that affect where you can go and when. These all may be electronically monitored. You may also be banned from using the internet. You could be given an intensive parole period where certain terms and conditions have to be completed within a specific time. Home visits are part of your ongoing case management and you might need to have a home assessment. This is where a community correctional services staff member will come to your house and interview any friends or family that live with you. If you are not able to make it to your appointments or are struggling with going to your programs or community work, speak to your parole officer. There will be consequences if you don't comply with these terms or conditions of your parole, so best to speak up earlier rather than later. But if you don't attend as required, you may have to go to a meeting with the parole board and you could receive a warning, or your parole could be varied or cancelled. In some circumstances, it may mean that you could be charged with an offence for not complying with your parole. A magistrate will then decide the outcome of this, and it could mean a further jail sentence, a fine, or both. So, what about the cops? What can they do? Victoria Police have the power to arrest and detain you if they suspect you are breaking your parole. If you're arrested, the parole board will be notified and they'll make the decision about your time in detention. If you're convicted and found guilty of further offences, your parole may be automatically cancelled. Your case manager can give you more info on this if you need it. You also have rights during your parole period. At any time you can ask questions, request a change of community work, request a different supervising officer, or ask for an officer who's the same gender as you. If you feel like you're not being treated fairly, you have the right to complain to your officer, and if you're not satisfied with that result, you can ask to take your complaint to senior management. You also have the right to make a work cover claim if you're injured while doing community work. So, that's parole in a nutshell. If you want further info, please speak with your case manager. Thanks for listening. See ya.